If you're making a top-down game, there's a good chance, or at least the slightest possibility, that there might be some trees in it. And depending on how you draw them, it may take a while. If you're anything like me, you may ask yourself, is taking a week to draw a single tree really the best strategy towards ever finishing a game? I won't answer that. But if I say that this mainly applies to how you draw the leaves, I may have a pointer or two. It probably isn't best practice to draw your leaves just one pixel at a time. In fact, it's probably better not to draw single leaves at all. But if puffy trees aren't your thing, I recommend the stamp approach. Make a few leaves in a pattern, pick a few gradients of color, and then, beginning with the darkest, start stamping them in. I find that this method actually works pretty good, and I could stop there, but taking some time to outline the leaves along the edges seems to add that finishing touch. I've already added some of those new pine trees to the forest scene, just to see how they would look, but they are just sprite nodes. There is no collision, animation, or any other way to interact with them, so let's add that. Now, I'm sure there's no other reason to add trees to your game, none at all, except cutting them down. I mean, what better way to blow off some steam than to cut down every tree in a well-wooded forest? So to do this, I've separated the stump from the rest of the tree. Now, when we hit the tree, it should shake. And we could use animations to do this, but I think I like Tweens better. You see, the problem with animations is that they assume a starting position. In this case, the tree would start upright and then shake right and left. But what happens if the tree was already shaking when you hit it a second time? Well, I guess you have two options here. You can wait for the tree to finish the animation before starting a new shake, or start a new shake animation which cuts off the current one. Now, neither of these is all that great. The first option does not feel responsive, and the second seems all jittery. That's where Tweens really come in handy. They can take any property from an object in any position and gradually adjust them to a different setting. In this case, I'm adjusting the rotation based on the remaining health of the tree. The less health the tree has, the more it shakes up to 20 degrees until finally it's ready to hit the ground. And that's a good start, but it needs to be more responsive. Let's add some falling leaves. Now, this is another one of those things that you could attempt to animate, but from my experience, gravity is not something that I've ever successfully simulated from the animation player. For that, we'll use a particle system. From there, there's all sorts of settings like initial velocity, gravity, acceleration, and even turbulence for making those leaves wobble before they hit the ground. We've got one particle system for the tree shaking, and another for when it falls completely. They're both set to one shot, but we just make sure to duplicate the shake system when the tree is hit. This allows new sets of falling leaves to overlap without being cut off. The complete falling of the tree only happens once, so no duplication is necessary for the exploding leaves. Now, I've been hard on the animation player, but we could probably use it to fade the tree when the player walks behind it. Of course, we could use a tween for that too. It also seems like gathering resources is all the rage in games these days. So if trees can fall, it'd probably be nice to get something from it. These two X's tell the logs where to appear when the tree falls. They are just linked to a script that instantiates a scene that contains a log resource. Explaining how all this works would be a subject for a whole other video. Let me know in the comments if that is something you are interested in. While trees shaking, fading, and dropping logs is great and all, some sounds to go with them would sure go a long way. There's the sound when you hit the tree, when it shakes, when it falls, when the logs drop, and even when you pick the logs up. Lots of sounds, but when you get all of it just right, the result can be like this. And with our wonderful new tree scene, we are ready to add it to our scenes collection in the tile set and populate hundreds of trees throughout the forest. Except if we do it like this, the frame rate will probably bottom out and our game will get all laggy. Now, I did manage to solve this problem by converting normal tiles, but that's probably enough for this devlog. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to support the game or the channel, please like and subscribe. We don't have a Steam page just yet, but we'll get there. See you later.